Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Nathan's 3D Factory. In this episode, I'm going to show you sculpt masking, okay? So, first of all, let's say that right here, I have this gnome that I've been working on, right? So, let's say I want to just do some details to this beard. So, this is a pure demonstration. I actually like the smooth beard, but I want to show you what I'm talking about, right? So, I'm in my sculpt mode and I have the draw brush, okay? I also have X symmetry selected right here in the mirror. So let's say I start kind of just playing around with this beard right here, and I start drawing on here, right? Okay, pretty cool. And let's say I want to do that, but as I'm doing that, and you kind of get into it where you're just kind of playing and everything. So you kind of want some precision at some places. And let's say you're drawing and everything, but then you also notice there's this little mistake right here at the mustache. And let's say, well, I don't want that, right? So you can go back a few steps. Okay, so you see what I'm talking about there, right? Well, I don't like that. I don't want to be doing this part. I just want to focus on the beard. Well, that's where you can go into where you have your mask mode. And then you can start masking those places where you don't want to be painting. So then you start going into here. And then what this does is that this masks out the places where you don't want to be sculpting, right? And you can say, all right, well, I want to get all this right here. Okay. So, pretty cool, right? So you can be doing this, but you may want to have a larger area because that's going to take a while to mask it off, right? So then you can get the larger area, but now you start to notice, well, now that's not so good, right? Now I'm starting to mask off parts that I don't want to mask off. And maybe that's all right for you, but for me, I like to have things very precise. And I was hoping to find a way that I could do vertex groups to kind of do that, to mask off the stuff that I needed to mask off. Well, there is a way that you can do that. So I'm going to actually unmask everything. So we'll just Control Z a few steps back. Okay. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to make this so you can use vertex groups to actually to mask this off. Okay. So what I do is that I tab into edit mode. Okay. Now this multi-res is very simplified geometry. I also have it set up so that I have vertex groups. Okay. So if I were just to deselect everything, I was to say, well, I just want this beard to be the one that I'm going to select, right? Well, I can actually just do this. I can say select, and then I can say H to hide. Now, you'll see that the beard is gone, and I can mask everything else. And then I can start going like this, just start doing my masking right here. Okay? I just keep going with that. And then I can also toggle my local view by pressing the slash key. Okay, and I just want to make sure that all this is masked, including this peg right here. And then if I'm satisfied with the results, I have a little bit right here I think that I'm missing. Okay, then I can tab back in, Alt H to unhide that geometry. And now, if I tab back into the sculpt mode, then what I can do is I can get out of there, and then I can go back to my draw mode. I can resize my brush by pressing F, Shift F to increase or decrease the strength. So I think I want a little more subtle here. And actually, I think I want a little bigger size right here, that I can take the major stuff here. Okay. And then I can use this, and then as I'm sculpting this, I'm not getting these areas that I don't want to get. Okay. There we go. Okay. And then I just kind of orbit around. And then I can also do a bunch of other effects. Okay. Then I just keep going. And then I can pinch things as well. So, gives you the idea of just kind of pulling together some of this stuff so that you can sculpt it a little bit easier, you know? So then you can make a little bit more detail work on this, and you don't have to worry about getting parts of your mesh that you don't want to include on your editing, you know? So, pretty cool stuff, right? So, I just kind of do that kind of stuff. And then, if I'm done with that, well, then I can go into another part of the mesh. I can say, okay, so now I want to do something else. So, I can go in and I can say, I'm going to mask this. So, got that. And then what I can do is I can isolate things by going into Tab. And then I can just say A. This time I'm going to do a deselect method. So these guys right here, I'm going to say deselect, deselect, H. And I'm going to tab out of edit mode. Now, in order to demask or unmask this, I should say, I'm going to do Control, and then I'm going to start unmasking that while I'm in this mask setting. So, this is a way that I can simplify the process of masking and unmasking my sculpt selections. Okay, and then I can do Alt-H. Okay, and then these are easy ways that I can go and isolate my selections of what I want to sculpt and not sculpt. And then I'm going to reduce that size a little bit larger. Okay, let's see. And I can pinch that. Okay. I can also crease things. Pretty sweet, huh? But anyway, so I can smooth things. So all right. So anyway, let me know what you thought of this episode. I know I'm just like doing a lot of rambling and kind of sculpting as I'm talking here, but it gives you the idea of just kind of what you can do with this stuff with like masking things off, and then you get some really cool effects with that, and you can keep precise control on what you want to do with your stuff. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for watching Nathan's 3D Factory. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.